Okay, most of you probably already celebrate Halloween. It's actually one of my favorite holidays around the year. Everyone gets to dress up however they want and not be judged for it, and you can go out and get candies from strangers and it'll be alright. Um, you can do different activities from throwing parties or going to haunted houses or even having your own. Um, Even though you may celebrate Halloween, you may not know actually how it started and where it all began. So I've researched back to when it all started and different superstitions and activities people do to celebrate today or the day. Uh, Dates back to the Celtic Festival. They lived 2,000 years ago in what are now Ireland, northern France, and the United Kingdom. They celebrated their new year on November 1st, which marks the end of the summer and the beginning of winter, which was known for a lot of death. And they thought that on the night before, the two worlds of the living and the dead was blurred and that the spirits would come back onto Earth. So, with the presence of these spirits, they thought that the priests, they could see the future better with them being present. It wasn't until the late in the 19th century that Halloween made it to America because of immigrants that were mostly from Ireland. Americans began dressing up in costumes and went house to house just asking for food and money, and which would be today's trick or treating. In the late 1800s, America changed the ways of Halloween from being scary to transforming it into like a neighborhood type of thing and being more friendly. Um, they went to, instead of ghosts and pranks and witchcraft, they went to games, food, and costumes, so it'd be friendlier for children. Because of these changes, Halloween lost most of the superstitions by the beginning of the 20th century. One of them was that most people avoid black cats. If you see one, you turn the other way. You don't want to cross its path. That probably came from the Middle Ages when people believed that witches would transform themselves into a cat to avoid being detected. Some people also try to avoid walking underneath ladders because that can bring bad luck too. And that is believed that it came from the Egyptians because they believed that triangles were sacred. So now we move on to the traditions of Halloween, and one of the biggest ones is dressing up in costumes. When they believed that the ghost would come back from the other world, they figured that if they would dress up in costumes and wear masks, that the spirit would think they were another spirit and they would just mistaken them. So on Halloween, they would also set out bowls of food outside their homes and hope that the spirits would avoid them and not come in and just take the food. Um, it also, today, 1/4 of all the candy sold annually in the US is sold around Halloween for trick or treating. Along with dressing up in costumes and trick or treating, some other traditions are carving pumpkins, decorating the homes or your workplaces, and the yard, and using Halloween colors. Some decorations that you may see are like headstones in the front yard, acting like people have died there, or ghosts and spider webs on front porches, and using fake blood and fog machines. Back in the day, only people would dress up, but now even people dress up their animals as in their own costumes. So not only do people use these traditions to celebrate Halloween, but there are also other activities you can do. Haunted houses are one of the most popular ones. Up in the city, you can go to them. They have, I think, 3 up there that you can go to. There's even a lot of neighborhoods you can find one on Halloween and go to. And sometimes even schools, they'll set up like a mini one during parties that aren't as scary. Like even Ellen DeGeneres, she has her own show. She has a haunted hallway for her audience to go through and scares them. Decorations such as spiderwebs, zombies, blood, fog machines, and strobe lights add a little creepier effect to it. So, and there are also food and treats you can make that resemble body parts or ghosts and pumpkins. So I've got a few that I could show you. This one is a pumpkin Looks like it's throwing up, but it's just guacamole. You can use that for the party. These look like teeth. They're just apples with peanut butter and then mini marshmallows. Just shows that. These look like worms. They're just jello and straws.
No.
Yeah, pretty gross. These are also apples dipped in caramel, and you cut out like a mouth for it and put mini marshmallows in them too. And those are fingers. They're just hot dogs with ketchup and then onion at the end for a fingernail.
Ew.
So to wrap things up, I hope you guys understand why we celebrate Halloween and where everything started from, and that maybe next year you can use some of the ideas I shared.